take it home, play slowly. Boy, oh boy, I'm excited about this game, Michael. I'm sure you are as well.
Yeah, I can already see the guys setting up as well for this. So it's indeed going to be very close matchup, I think. And as well, I'm so thrilled to see what those guys bring to the table for game number 1, which you're going into right now, guys.
Here we go, mate. ShuffleFM, the streamer versus the Edgy memer here. There is a pretty heavy distinction in rank here. ShuffleFM a bit lower. Maybe too busy entertaining his stream audience, playing different games than focusing on DD like we know Edgy Meme Lord has. Seeing this matchup as well, Alepa versus Abomination, maybe the Abomination gets pushed right back, Mike. Right back.
Yeah, indeed. So let's have a look at this one. So it really is going to be this pullback you have to feel by Edgy Meme Lord, by the way. And it might do it for the game. It's not actually, it's a come hither. So it's a multi-pronged attack right now for Edgy, where he goes for a pull first, and then he just pushes the A-bomb out. And this puts Vestal in first and A-bomb in fourth. You really don't want that to happen. So you have to counteract this right away. Oh, there's very strange players are coming onto the Jester right there.
Naughty dodge. So naughty, Mike. This dancing Jester making a fool out of ShuffleFM so early on into the game. We see this background change as well. Everybody, this is such a subtle change. Not many of you realise this. But in the background of this map here, we see the Apprentice, I believe, masking that laughing Droby smiling back at us, just as that leper avenges here. Powerful turn 1 revenge. Edgy Meme Lord wants to take it a little bit slower, maybe. Get these heavy crits out using that Silentia comp that I believe. Can't remember exactly what it was. Maybe Sorted Chaos named it Thanks Silentia, right, Mike? It's proven to be a very powerful and dominant comp, Mike. You've got to be a little bit scared of your shuffle here, especially after that early dodge.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that Meme Lord didn't go for this purge from the get-go. Actually, he doesn't have it, that's why. I was kind of confused for a while. So we don't see the purge on the leopard. This would have been so good into this particular match, right? So right now, Shuffle is going to recover from this, you have to feel, right? He's just going to be fine.
What just happened there?
Oh, this is big.
ShuffleFM just moved his vessel from second into first.
That's quite reasonable.
Going the stun for, it's not quite reasonable. He does dodge that mud, but regardless of that, he is unable to stun. You would much rather apply that oppressive stun pressure. ShuffleFM playing really fun, playing really weird for all of its fans, but I think these overthinking, overcomplicated plays, I don't think they're going to take it for him here.
Yeah, the problem is the land right now, because I know what he was doing here. He was trying to just set it up for a single 10 and just go forward with the Abomination. Right now he can't do this though. So if he lunges now, he wastes a turn because this means that the Vestal is stuck in first. He goes for this as well, and this is looking very unfortunate for Edgy Meme Lord right now, honestly. Sorry, very unfortunate for Shuffle. So he was trying to save the Vestal, but he really did this a single move too early, perhaps, or just miscalculated a little bit of that turn. Obviously, the Jester right now might be able to set the Vestal for success once again, but this puts the Abomination in fourth, so this control by Edgy Lord is immense. He moves all the pieces that ShuffleFM has on the board, and he puts those pieces where he wants to see them. And it's just looking very, very dire for Shuffle right now into this matchup right now. This finale just doesn't have enough damage at this point. The Harvest comes down, obviously Double Bleed potentially comes down, and Blight as well, so this is heavy DOTs applied on the other side. So perhaps Shuffle takes back a little bit of that. However, you have to really remember this Vestal is going to be stuck permanently in row number 1. Where obviously Obelisk can't reach her, but this Leper with Chop and Hugh at the same time is just going to demolish her. 48 damage crit. And you have to know there is no direct healing on this Vestal right now. There is nothing you can do to save her. You can potentially Maze Bash to delay this by a single move, but this is the best you can hope for.
Absolutely here. I mean, to be honest, ShuffleFM here, that Vestal being pushed into first and able to suddenly rely heavily on that Maze Bash. I think overthought, Mike. I really think, and there we go, that death blow.
Yeah, that's a death blow indeed.
ShuffleFM right now is going to be kicking himself. He's going to be thinking, oh my lord, if I play like this in the next game, I'm out of the tournament in round 1 without winning a single game. Hopefully he takes it a bit slower, he thinks through his turns more, and he can really leverage the stun advantage he had in this game no longer, but in the next game, you know, maybe he can learn from his mistakes like no one else has in this tournament so far, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, this is a setup for the finale, right? He can still get this on the Jester or on the BH, so this is not entirely over. This also moves the Abel forward, so I feel Shuffle does right now is he just uses Absolution on the Abomination there. Then he uses the finale, drops it probably on the Jester of Edgy Meme Lord.
Oh.
And this means that he can potentially just salvage this game still.
One hit death toll there, the one that Jester, which means that you were always worried about him dying. You can't hear it.
Oh,
There's
I just
no
realized
way to hear
something else. Like, he doesn't go first next turn because this Abel goes last. So this is not on the cards at all. This finale is not going to happen at all. He's just going to lose the Jester before it takes place. Because I feel like Edgy Meme Lord is perfectly fine using the finale on the Jester of ShuffleFM right now.
Absolutely, you've already got that Vestal dead. I mean, you say that Jester that he can't finale. ShuffleFM right now, I think this was... Quite often in these games, we see people give their opponent a victory. Is he going to kill himself? No, he's not. He's just on death door, very simple. Pops that finale down, absolutely pinpoint accuracy. He takes it. Look at that death burst.
Yeah, this is the correct move, right? Usually you want to take this 50-50, save the finale for later. But right now you just want to prevent the finale of ShuffleFM from ever being used.
Mike, you are 4v2. You're going to win that every day.
Yeah. Oh, there's another crit as well, but this is just a little too late once again. I feel like ShuffleFM is just way too far behind the pace right now. And it's just going to be the game going in favor of Edgy Meme Lord. Very quick resolution, 10-3. We already pretty much know who is the winner. I mean, yeah, I just don't see a way for Edgy Meme Lord to ever throw this away with a Leper who is super buffed. There's no stress by the way because ShuffleFM composition was a damaging one. This looks very, very dire.
Absolutely, so dire for ShuffleFM. He was given every opportunity to win this game. I think the axiomatic play here, the turning point, was that, I mean...
The Vestal move gave up a lot of momentum, obviously.
He put it through to dodge the marked attack from the Arbalest here. But still, the Arbalest can crit and take the Jester down, can take anyone out from Death Star without even a mark present. So really, you have to be worried about that regardless. You should use your stunts aggressively here. Maybe we are seeing this laughing, I think, apprentice face behind us. I think ShuffleFM here playing maybe a little bit too true to his rank, maybe a little bit scared as well. Too busy entertaining his massive audience. And that's a dead abomination, Mike. That is a dead abomination.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the position he was in was quite dire from the get-go because of that potential, move composition that Edgy has. However, like, maybe using that stun would have bought him enough time and control to perhaps get this pressure in and just get ahead in this game. Right now, though, it's just looking super dire because he is also in a very squishy composition against a Leper. You really don't want to be playing those squishy characters into this very powerful Leper teams because a Leper can basically 100-0 the entire front line with a single Q.
Absolutely.
Or obliterate a singular character. Even an MAA can drop to 0 HP from full, or a Crusader as well, for a singular chop. So this
he's shooting the corpses, man. He's shooting the corpses. He has all the time in the world.
Yeah.
This is almost a bit of a teabagging BM here from Edgy Meme Lord. ShuffleFM right now is on a wing and a prone. Unfortunately, his wing has no feathers. He can't fly. He's crashing right down into the Bermuda Triangle. Unfortunately for ShuffleFM, the big boy streamer in the house right now, maybe he has been cursed just as Amelia Earhart was. Do you think he's going to crash and burn like every other streamer is, Mike? Or do you think he's going to be slow, change his trinkets, change his skills, and counter-pick the next comps?
Oh, absolutely. I think he still has a chance. Like, game one is not always the end of it. I actually would like to see that. Like, how many people who took game one won their series? And I just kind of go through this after the tournament. That would be a very interesting stat. Because this might be something that comes into play in terms of psychology, right? If you lose game one, do you make poorer decisions? And do you just lose more games or not? Because this is a best of 3, right? Everything can happen. Obviously, you can get back from a losing position here. Like, obviously, Shuffle is going down here, but it's just a question of whether he makes a recovery next game or not.
Absolutely. I mean, ShuffleFM has every single thing to lose. If he gets knocked out in round 1 in this tournament, not only is he losing those incredible exclusive rewards in this officially sanctioned Red Hook tournament, by none other than Mikefield himself. Please join, follow, subscribe. This guy deserves everything. He is also losing out the ability to give his followers this premium, pristine content. Nothing is better than acting out in such an impressive and formal tournament, right, Mike? If he gets knocked out in the first round, man, he's got to be upset. There's just so much lost content, so much fun things he could do.
I mean, I have seen Shuffle play. I've watched his streams. I checked his videos out. Like, he makes a lot of solid plays. So the only issues he had were mostly composition based. So he was playing those weaker combs, a bit memey ones, maybe forcing the GR too hard. But he was a very solid player overall, so he can definitely take it back in game number 2. I'm absolutely confident he can do it. And then, you know, once we are even Steven, this is just going to be sorted out by this final game of the series, hopefully. We might, although we obviously might just see a very quick resolution here with 2-0 for Edgy Memeload, who is also an absolute powerhouse of a player.
I mean, Edgy Memeload is a character that has been very, very recent to the Mikefield community, but I have run across him on the ladder in later days, and boy, this is a powerful, powerful guy. He knows what he's doing here. So ShuffleFM, he has so many different kind of chevrons of disadvantage. He has both got to entertain his stream. He's also got this pressure on him of, I need to entertain people, I need to perform well, I need to kind of talk about what I'm doing. And right now, it seems that you say he's been playing perfectly. I'm not entirely sure of that. I'm not entirely sure he has.
Okay, so we are gonna see. I feel like Shuffle is getting ready for game number 2, and so are we, guys. Let's just kind of get this sorted out, and let's see what we have on our hands for the second match of the day. So we are gonna have a look at Edgy Memeload right now, who has lost the access to the Marauders composition, by the way, guys. And right now, guys, we will indeed see the game number 2. Guys are probably ready for this right now as well, so we are probably going to load into the second match of this series.
Here we go, man. Do you think ShuffleFM, this has not been a giant amount of time in between the games, so I think ShuffleFM then maybe is resting on his laurels, choosing these comfortable picks, not trying to change any skills or trinkets here, which I think might do him massive disservice because Edgy Memeload is such a powerful, powerful player.
Yeah. Oh, we see a different composition by Shuffle though. So he picks the stress-oriented team, I believe, with a lot of stress over time coming from that occultist, as well as this grave robber indeed picking a lot of stress damage in terms of the single target abilities. Edgy Memeload though, he brings a Mimi composition to the table as well. This Hellion, once again, I do not know what people see in this character. Hopefully we'll find out eventually as far as this guy goes, because we might just see this Hellion take a game.
So unlucky, so unlucky.
Yes, 30%. It was 30% chance to get that. Come hit on the occultist obviously makes a lot of those abilities that he has brought to the table not accessible right now, and this might tend...
He can use all of his abilities from rank 2 that occultist set. Every single ability he has available, he can use at rank 2. Pulling him there is a simply offensive thing there. The Arbalest can crit him very hard. The occultist is such a squishy character, but he does not disable any of his abilities. Also, pushing that Grave Robber into third though does start apart from Shadow Fading, getting a really heavy single target stress panning darts out, but then again, does give us some amount of safety in rank 3, right?
Yeah, that's true, that's true. Oh, there's so much potential damage coming from Edgy though right now. He's probably waiting on this Arbalest right now. This might be a stun. Yeah, it is indeed a stun. I would expect it to come on this occultist though. This kind of surprising it does not. However, like, this entire fight might be decided by, or even defined by the fact that ShuffleFM indeed misses the stun on this BH, so this might be going Edgy Memeload's way right now. So also this activation here perhaps not the best decision in the world, you have to think, because right now this means that there is no active healer available. Obviously the Crusader is still out there, but there is no active healer available directly to Shuffle, and this crit coming from the Arbalest might indeed be the game-defining play here. So what we might see...
you love to see the occultist stacking on those debuffs there, especially with that weakening curse, damage and proc, 20% on both. The Arbalest can clear that in a heartbeat, the Hellion Repression, so much damage, and a debuff there as well.
That's surprising.
I believe the death blow resistance.
That's the... Yeah, but like, why would you go for the Crusader when you can definitely 100 to 0 this occultist? Which he just doesn't do now because of that character.
Oh, look at that!
That's
2 health up, Mike.
Yeah, he should have seen that coming though. He was debuffed heavily, so I just don't understand the Hellion play here. He could have definitely taken over the match right now. And at this point, I feel like Shuffle is still in a comfortable position. Like, he can just land with this... Oh, he goes for the...
Good, thank God. I was about to say to you, like, what are you doing? Your Stitching Embrace is a 3 use per game ability. You want to use that 3 times so you've not really got all of your value out of the Occultist here. People, especially, view Occultist as a very weak character, not quite as big as a play dodge compared to the tier list, but really quite strong. It's this Arbalest that stealth quid instantly. Almost, we say a weighted down, but that's a turn for turn. Removing that Arbalest ability to attack a marked target.
That's a second resisted. That's second stun resisted by the BH. That's what a hero it is. Absolutely crazy stuff right now. And I just don't really feel those stuns like are supposed to be working like this. This is supposed to at least stun once. Like, it is
that big crit there, pushing down to death.
Again,
is he stunned here? He must be stunned, right? He is.
Yeah, he is obviously
unable
stunned.
to heal himself. There's no other character in this team can apart from that Crusader. You really want to be stunning with that Crusader, don't you, Mike?
Yeah. I mean, this you can still guard this potentially, but then you risk the card drops killing you anyway. And he has no active healers. Like, if you play against a composition that has so much damage, so that's what Edgy Meme Lord has brought to the table. You usually leave the characters that are active healers for your very last turn. If you do not do this, you just risk getting crit and being executed without any sort of recourse available to you. And this is a dead occultist, very likely to be anyway 50-50 right now on those card drops. Maybe a bit less honestly because the damage needs to come through to execute someone. So this might not indeed work. It does, it's a 0 damage. The guard protection bonus does the job for the occultist, saves his ass in this game. And this is very important. You cannot understate how big this is. Because right now this occultist is just going to sit out there relatively safe and do whatever he wants. For the foreseeable future, he's just pretty safe because there is very little ways in which Edgy Meme Lord can break this powerful
apart from
guard.
that Abomination shield break, right? Abomination shield break. He can push forward, push him right back, get a death blow check on him, break that guard. He still can't heal himself, Mike.
Yeah, but what I expected from Shuffle is a lunge, actually. I thought he was just gonna lunge, get this occultist to fed. He doesn't do this, though. I mean, he can lunge still right now. I'm just kind of baffled by that. I would just expect her to just go forward, maybe remove some of HP, put some pressure on Edgy Meme Lord's side, because really you want to keep this occultist safe as long as possible, and this just doesn't happen for some reason. He doesn't anticipate this slam coming through, and you have to feel this is a big mistake. Because right now, Edgy Meme Lord there's nothing stopping him from moving forward, slamming the face of ShuffleFM in, and just ending this game in a very decisive fashion. This is a very big misplay.
I mean, ShuffleFM, we do not want to see him taking it on a 0-2 fashion. Here we go, boom. Death Still, thank the Lord. ShuffleFM still has a mighty, mighty chance to win here.
Yeah,
push back into fourth, not protected even though against his Arbalest and the Hellion here.
So a single lunge could have indeed saved this occultist from all the trouble. Right now he has to use an active heal from this Crusader to just bring this character back up online, which he does. Very, very good move, obviously, but it's just, this could have been so much easier for him. He could have just simply lunged forward, which is something he really wants to do anyway, right? Just get some pressure on the table, just force Edgy Meme Lord to react rather than be proactive, which is obviously happening right now. He's being super proactive, getting all those bleed outs, getting heavy damage across the board. This is what really ShuffleFM doesn't want to happen to him. And this right now, even though this crit heal was very big, doesn't seem to be a game that ShuffleFM has any sort of an advantage in.
Absolutely, I mean, ShuffleFM, he has quite a few opportunities here. He's got, I mean, that crit does kind of do so much damage. I was about to say he's reasonably healthy looking at those DOTs, but that crit from the Arbalest, that unmarked character, putting him down to death. So what do you do here? Do you try and you pat him down? You just play aggressive, I suppose. Yeah,
you hope to break this BH. Maybe he does something out of 10, like perhaps passes or moves.
Paranoid, that's a heavy chance to pass, man.
This might be it, because he just activates right now. So he also takes a little bit of damage here. He doesn't get any sort of reaction, though. It is a concurrent and is a kill indeed.
Bound to happen.
Yeah, was very likely indeed. So, yeah, that's just kind of all she wrote for Shuffle, I feel. This was a 50-50, you have to remember that. This was just a 50-50, right? He had no debuffs to mortality. So this is a dead occultist. Obviously not my favorite character in the entire game right now, but it's still a shame to lose the boy anyway. I was hoping to get
against such an... This is the issue with this format. If ShuffleFM took a little bit longer in these pre-game intervals, if he changed his trinkets around, if he thought about what Edgy Medium Lord was going to take, this is such a powerful comp. Any comp with an Arbalest and a Bounty Hunter is a massively strong comp. I think ShuffleFM, maybe he even picked into this incorrectly, thought he would take the advantage, but really, you have every opportunity, especially as a person with a loss to your name. You are given that advantage in choosing with much better accuracy in terms of game theory, the composition your opponent will pick. And right now, I don't think he's fitted quite well into it, do you? That occultist against such a heavy mark team, unable to be defended by anything really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not doing anything.
We have seen some heavy misplays. I feel this is what just decided this game as well. There's like some very big mistakes that could have basically given Shuffle some sort of an advantage coming into this one, and he just didn't make use of them too much. And this means that Edgy Memebuild has all the tools at his disposal to just take over the game right now. And this is just going to be, I feel, like close out. Maybe it's gonna take a while, but it will still be about 95% a win for Edgy. I don't know what has to happen right now.
To get that control with this stun, hitting the grave rubber there, it's always going to land. Putting it down to death stroke, really powerful there.
Yes, indeed. So right now, this stun grave robber not really going to be long for this world. This BH is just going to come forward and just snuff her out like a cunt. Look at this one. So he goes for this one right now, probably not going to be an actor because this is just like a movie right now. He's just going to get the finish him, chops her down. Oh, he does it!
Big dodge, look at that.
That's
Thank
new.
The Lord.
This is new.
That
That's
might
just...
have given him a chance here to take it back. Kill that bounty hunter and he might just be even.
Oh, I thought this was going to be a movie scene, but this is not a movie scene at all.
Oh,
this is like, this was Matrix sort of moves though from this GR.
This is an M. Night Shyamalan film here with the amount of twists we are seeing. I want to see ShuffleFM take that grave robber right now. Because if you take one more hit, there we go, he might just die. That gun will not do much. Not much though, so the Arbalest cannot go through even with the trinket. If you have the Caltrops available, that will go through, but I believe we might have seen that use already. No other ability really outside of the Beast's Bile can effectively hit, and even then, that Beast Bile will go right onto the Man-at-Arms here.
Indeed, so there is nothing that...
Actually,
that's a very pretty guard indeed. Again, like, I'm just gonna repeat myself though, too little too late. Feels like that anyway for Shuffle.
Potentially, Mike, but if we come back Bounty Hunter, he has really no way to leverage defensive mark attack from that Arbalest. That Man-at-Arms is still at health. Maybe if he keeps Bellamy, he'll get a couple of kills, Mike. He might take it home. We've seen it happen before. We might see it here again. ShuffleFM here again, a Twitch streamer. Everybody, if you want to see some fantastic quality, watch ShuffleFM on Twitch. Look at him on YouTube. Really great videos. He's the most, I guess, prominent Darkest Dungeon streamer right now. It's such a shame to see him out, Ryan, wouldn't it? We want to see him win this one, don't we?
That's a streamer curse. Just I feel like this is just a streamer curse, man. Like, every streamer has to be out of the tournament before it actually starts playing out in a proper, normal fashion. And like, this is just going to be a confirmation of the Fury, man. I feel like this is just it. It proves the point. All streamers out is just us and the competitors who are just, you know, how do you call them? Non-streamers, we could say, right?
Well, I mean, there's a difference between streamers and non-streamers, just in terms of the fact that ShuffleFM runner is probably live talking to his audience. Not only does he have to deal with the tournament pressure that everyone faces, he also has to deal with the pressure of letting down his fan base, because obviously his fan base wants to see him win right now. I mean,
obviously.
I don't want to insult you here, Mike, but we did see when you lost those games against Mango, they were very, very fair games against such a prominent character. You lost to the person that lost to the person that won, right? But even then, you were still very, very angry and salty about that. Someone says to ShuffleFM here, maybe a little bit tilted coming into these games. I mean, I think he made somewhat of a meta misplay in the composition he picked to face into Edgy Meme Lords here. Obviously, I'm sure he would have a lot to say about that, so maybe we can have an interview with him at the end of the cast, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely,
but regardless, I think Edgy Meme Lords here, he's beat me a few times on ladder, you know. Him and the Rumstick are the only people I'm actually afraid of, and right now, I don't want to face Edgy Meme Lord in the finals, man.
Yeah, sweet Polish pronunciation, by the way. Sweet Polish pronunciation of Rumstick.
Is he Polish? Rumstick.
Yeah, this is Polish name, yeah, Rumstick indeed, yeah. He's most certainly Polish. So, but yeah, I actually agree, Edgy Meme Lord is a stellar performer on the ladder, so no shame losing to the guy, obviously. And he just shows his class right now, but he will have a very big opponent coming into the next series. And facing that one is going to be quite a big challenge. SBRH there, I believe, right, is going to be his opponent very soon. And that is going to be quite a series as well.
Absolutely. I mean, really, we are still praying for ShuffleFM deep down, especially his fans, but it's a difficult one. He's not really trying to kill that bounty hunter. He's blighting. It's not going through. I mean, so difficult for ShuffleFM to win this right now. Even with that mana hunter, he's might in rank 2 can cut out, bless it. Boy, oh boy. ShuffleFM runs. Oh, bang. Bing, bang, bingo. The grave robber has been put in her own grave.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we see this Crusader just... It doesn't seem to be a winnable position right now. We have 2 moves available for Edgy Meme Lord right now. A Manacles comes through, and this will remove the guard as well.
There. Quite lucky, 70% stun resistance.
Absolutely, and then the Wicked Hack just finishes off the Crusader. No, it doesn't.
Or not quite.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just going to be a little bit more time that Edgy takes to finish this one off, I feel, but that's just... It just looks absolutely hopeless right now for Shuffle, unfortunately for him. Like, he took a lot of shots at this BH as well. No avail though, he didn't drop in the end, and this just looks quite dire right now.
Absolutely, I mean, not to be a bit of a power ShuffleFM fans right now, they still have a little flicker of hope holding out for him. It is unfortunate to lose in round 1, but Edgy Meme Lord, one of these characters who we all know is very, very, very powerful. Facing up against some ridiculous dark horses in this bracket as well, Mike. I'm so glad these absurdly powerful players will be facing off against each other so soon. Again, terrifying. It's upsetting to see ShuffleFM knocked out. Such a prominent Twitch streamer, such a prominent YouTuber. Really, really lovely guy. You've got to hate to see it, but Edgy Meme Lord here, he deserves it, Mike. He does deserve it.
But you have to admit though, that those stuns not coming through as well from the Crusader on the BH were what kind of gave a lot of advantage to Edgy there. But obviously this is not just RNG, there were quite a few poor decisions that kind of followed in those stuns tracks, so that kind of came down to Edgy Meme Lord just being a slightly better player overall indeed. And right now we just see the closure of this game, inevitable but quite slow indeed. And it might take a while because this MAA is extremely sturdy still. Yeah,
there's that death blow inevitability here taking its hand. Fate here has been intertwined with a ShuffleFM loss. The streamer curse pushing everyone, especially here, the most prominent, I believe, DD streamer or YouTuber in the market straight out. Unless we see an almighty man-arms clutch here, it's difficult to believe, especially considering the bleeding blood that's already stacked on him, right, Mike?
Yeah, this was just a little stress too late, I think. Like, maybe if Shuffle had been putting a bit more pressure on Edgy, then this would have been on the cards. But right now, only 2 characters resolve broken. Fed Abomination very close to that, but this MAA is also resolve broken right now. So you really have to feel that even the stress might just kill him in the end. So it's just kind of going to be the slow closure, but a closure nonetheless. We just have to see how it ends indeed. I'm not a big fan of not taking Mark on this PH again. So Edgy Meme Lord again doing things that I really don't quite like especially when you have an Arbalest on the same team. Not having the Mark means that you sometimes pull a character to first, and this excludes the Arbalest from being able to hit the Mark.
Here, instead of healing that bounty hunter out of Death Store, a little bit weird there. A little bit weird, Mike.
So maybe overconfidence is a sour and insidious killer, and it brings Edgy Meme Lord down the cliff. I don't know. I feel like he has so much DOTs on this MA, this is just not possible to solve this right now. Also moves back, so his
you know
armor
what?
is gonna
He's got riposte. He can riposte. I wouldn't mind seeing a riposte there, right?
He wanted to get the kill there, like at least a single one. Like.
Yeah, but I mean, if you riposte a few turns early, you're the only character left alive. Everyone's going to be attacking you, no?
Oh, absolutely, yes, but this is just too late. Right now it's just too late.
Right, too little, too late, mate. Too little, too late. She saw, she cried, she came. It's all over, brother.
Yeah, that's the keyword for us for today. I think the selfish, like those characters are breaking down, but they're breaking down so down late. 10-9, we see the first afflictions coming from. Maybe the first one, the final affliction should be around 10-5 if you're stress composition. So it's kind of unfortunate, but that's just how it is right now. And basically, Edgy Meme Lord has been able to fully control this game from the beginning until the very end. And I feel like he just deserves this big W right now here. And he will be facing a very, very big opponent in SBRH in the follow-up game. So, yeah, that's all she wrote for ShuffleFM. Unfortunately, he's eliminated.
Such a shame for ShuffleFM fans, so much. But to be honest, Edgy Meme Lord here has taken home in such a decisive fight from us. So many people are choosing to play meta comps and taking every single victory available to them. This is a terrifying matchup of absolute titans, Mike.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now I actually need to settle with the guys as to who is going to be playing the next game.
Would you like me to talk over you? Or let me talk while you do that?
Yeah. I'm not sure what Assorted Chaos did. Okay, so apparently we're gonna get a delay right now, so Assorted asked for some time, so we'll just go with the potentially with the game between Edgy Meme Lord and SBRH. So I'm just gonna talk to the players right now, ask them if they're ready to get done with today's session. I hope they are, and then we'll just go ahead and watch that matchup. And finally then Adelbart versus Assorted Chaos as the last game of the day.
Really exciting games today. We've seen starting off with a very back and forth kind of exciting game, but in these other ones we've seen really dominant performances by two dark horses in a row in SBRH and another character who I can't actually remember the name of. But again, Shufflehead being knocked out by Edgy Meme Lord. Very, very powerful character. I'm sure everyone in Darkest has seen him on the ladder before. Started to be quite a influential person